Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're watching us. Welcome to my channel, Ngobani Zondo. We are in Cape Town. Today we're talking about the Zimbabwe situation. You know, we've been talking about that for a long time. Yesterday we say that the Lord is about to bless the country. Okay, so we want to talk to the Ministry of Finance, Mr. Mthuli Ncube. We've got some good ideas that we have to talk about this morning. We know Zimbabwe has allowed gold coins to be traded as money. So gold is a currency, we all know that. So because of our failing local currency, and I know why our local currency is failing, because it is extremely printed. Okay, and that printing of money devalues the value of money that other people are holding. So if gold is a currency, gold is even better than the rand. It's better than the US dollar, because gold is the ultimate currency that has stood the test of time, and it is difficult to devalue gold except if you're actually scratching it physically. That's the only way you can devalue gold, is by scratching it. That's how inflation came about originally, even like 500, 700 years ago. Inflation used to come when you get these coins, and you get a coin with a value, so you just scrape a bit, you give to somebody. They just keep on scraping until they have to use actual weights. Because I guess people are going to do that. I know they're going to do that. People are not right upstairs. So, but then the whole idea, it's a great idea, of all the bad things that ZANU-PF has done. This plan by Mthuli Ncube and John Mankunja and his excellence, I salute you. That was awesome. That is great, because we're going to get to sound money, because they say that gold can be traded and exchanged for money. So at the end of the day, essentially that gold will have its own value, whether in US dollar terms or in rand terms or in Zimbabwean currency terms. It doesn't matter. But once you have the gold in your pocket, it will not lose its value, okay? Because the inflation rate, inflation can happen on all other assets, but not on gold. Gold has got this stable ability to purchase goods and services. So it leads us to a very good idea that I'm going to bring forward, that will need Mthuli Ncube to be listening to, John Makuja to be listening to, because I believe it's what's going to take the country forward and it's going to help us. Now, seeing that we are using a commodity to be a currency, it means that the currency itself ceases to be a fiat currency. Even though, of course, the Zimbabwean dollar is still fiat, by the way, okay? But the fact that we are now using the gold coins themselves are not fiat. But that is not an elimination of fiat currency. Fiat is still available. The same dollar itself is still a fiat. A fiat currency is a currency that is based on nothing, which can be printed. Like the same dollar can be printed. But you cannot print gold. Okay, you can only mine gold, which means that if the government cannot declare gold into existence, but they can declare dollars into existence. That's what a fiat currency is. You can declare money into existence, and we can declare it out of existence. But you cannot wish away gold that is already there, and you cannot wish in gold which is not there. So that is why it is called sound money, because it is money that is there by the dictates of nature, not by the dictates of politicians. All fiat currency is dictated by monetary policy people. They determine. John Mankuja can wake up in the morning and say, there's now 5 billion Zim dollars in circulation. From where? From Norway. That's what is called money printing. But you cannot print gold. So that is sound money, and that is a good thing about this idea that ZANU-PF has come up with of making gold legal tender. And let's go to the next stage of my idea. Now that gold is legal tender, what are the advantages of having gold to be legal tender? It means that you now know how to shield your wealth against inflation. Wealth in this case will be money. If you have got a lot of money, millions, whatever, thousands, doesn't matter how much money you have. But if you convert that money to gold, I'm talking about money that you won't need to use now. Okay, if you convert it in gold, it will not be eroded by inflation, because since inflation is what is going on in the world right now. Right now, the world is experiencing high levels of inflation. The United States just recorded over 9% inflation, which is the highest in the past 40 years. Globally, in the whole world, prices of things are going up everywhere. So Zimbabwe is the only country in the whole world. Remember, yesterday I prophesied that Zimbabwe is going to be one of the most successful countries in the whole world. So now, some of you don't understand. I would like to explain to you. First of all, the fact that the government is making gold legal tender. The other country in the world where gold is legal tender is India. Okay. And another country whose residents keep gold is China. Otherwise, the rest of the countries all over the world, they do not allow their citizens to actually use gold as legal tender. And most of their currencies are not backed by gold. They used to be backed by gold long before. The US dollar used to be backed by gold, but not anymore. The Swiss franc is partially backed by gold. But in the Zimbabwean situation is very different, because the government is just saying that the Zim dollar will be backed by gold. No, it's just that it is making gold illegal tender. In other ways, the government is actually making gold a second official currency. So we've got a Zim dollar as a currency, we've got the gold as a currency. So we view gold itself as a currency, a legal currency in Zimbabwe. And I'm saying that there is some advantages for that, especially in an economic environment like Zimbabwe, where hyperinflation and monetary policy that is terrible. You will need sound money, and gold is the answer to sound money. So gold becomes sound money. Are you with me, economists? Say amen. So we're going to have sound money because of gold. Now listen very carefully. I've got a few ideas that I'm gonna run down with you, and they will need you to listen very carefully, and that's why I'm explaining these things, so that we can all move together. Now as I say, that the first advantage is a Zimbabwean. Now that gold is legal tender, is that you don't want to keep millions of dollars in the bank. Okay, you want to transfer that into gold. Do you know why? It doesn't matter whether it is US dollars, it is rands. Even the US dollar is losing 9% in annum. It's the highest inflation rate in the whole world. There is no currency in the world right now that is not losing value. Inflation is experienced everywhere, because all central banks have been printing money, from the Reserve Bank in the United States, to the ECB, to the Bank of England, to the Bank of Japan, and the Bank of China, the Australian Bank. All those major global banks have been printing money, which means inflation is going to catch up. There's going to be a lot of inflation that is going to happen in the next year or so. Therefore, all currencies are losing value. I need to teach Zimbabweans something. Zimbabweans have got this so much trust in the US dollar. Okay, you trust the US dollar so much. Zimbabweans have got this uneducated trust of the US dollar. You trust the US dollar so much that you think that it is a safe currency. Actually, the US dollar is one of the currencies that are in trouble right now. If you are into finance, if you follow finance like I do, you discover that the US dollar is a very troubled currency. Even though it has been gaining value, but it's a very troubled currency. Now, what the Zimbabwean government did by introducing gold as a trading currency is something that is strange, something which is a complete reversal of what of what Richard Nixon, the American president, did in 1971 when he took the US dollar out of the gold standard. Okay, if you don't understand this, I'm sorry, just do your research. But this thing that I'm going to say in this video is too educated. If it's too much, I don't know how to make it very, very simple. So if you don't understand, just go and research what you don't understand that I just said. So when Richard Nixon took the US dollar out of the gold standard, actually making it a fiat currency, what the Zimbabwean government is doing now is doing the exact opposite. Okay, but we are not making that. But as I told you, that gold is coming essentially practically as a second currency, because the Zim dollar itself is not getting to be backed by gold. But it's said that you are saying we're allowing gold to be legal tender. It's kind of like barter trade. Instead of barter, use gold. The idea is that gold will not lose its value. Okay, even if there is inflation, it was going to work as an inflation hedge. So if you've got a lot of money, idea number one is that you keep it in these gold coins that the government is going to release. You buy gold coins instead of putting money in the bank. I'm talking about large sums of money. Therefore, as next year this time, the money in the bank would have lost, I don't know how many percent inflation in Zimbabwe, because there's a hyperinflation in Zimbabwe. But if you keep it in these gold bars, even next year, in 2 years, 3 years, as prices go up, even the value of that gold coin is going to go up. Do you understand? That is idea number one. Buy gold coins. I feel like I'm being told to stop this video here, so that I can make another video about the next idea, which is for the country. This one, personally, the good thing, idea number one, the good thing is keep your money in these new gold coins that the government is actually is bringing forward. They cannot print, because the government cannot print new gold coins. It's either gold is there or it's not there. They cannot declare gold into existence when actually there is no gold. You understand? So that is actually a good move. It will actually help you to keep your money, and so that your money doesn't lose its value. And it doesn't matter where your money is. Even if your money is in a Swiss bank account or in some foreign safe haven, inflation is gonna erode the purchasing power of your money. Now I'm talking to the people that have got a lot of money, people that have made a lot of money in Zimbabwe through mining, through agriculture, or through any other ways.